That Lass o' LOWRIE'S by Francis Hodgson Burnett. Chapter 39. The first day Fergus Derrick was allowed to spend an hour in an easy chair by the fire, he heard the story of his rescue from the lips of his friend, listening to it as he rested against the propping cushions. "Don't be afraid of exciting me," he had said to Grace. "I have conjectured until I'm tired of it. Tell me the whole story. Let me hear the end now." Derrick's breath came quick and short as he listened, and his haggard face flushed. It was not only to his friend he owed his life, but to Joan Lowrie. "I should like to see her," he said, when Grace had finished. "As for you, Grace, well, words are poor things." "They are very poor things between friends," was Grace's answer. "So let us have none of them. You are on this side of the grave, dear fellow. That is enough." During the rest of the day Derrick was silent and abstracted, but plainly full of active thought. By nightfall a feverish spot burned upon his cheek, and his pulse had quickened dangerously. "I must wait," he said to Grace, "and it is hard work." Just at that time her niece was sitting in her room at the rectory, thinking of Joan also, when there came to her the sound of footsteps in the passage, and then a summons to the door. "You may come in," she said, but it was not a servant, as she had supposed. It was Joan, with a bundle upon her arm. "You are going away, Joan?" she said. "Tonight?" "Aye," Joan answered, as she came and stood upon the hearth. "I'm going away tonight." "You have quite made up your mind?" "Aye," said Joan. "I mun break loose. I want to get as far from town life as I can. I'd like to forget the most on it. I'm going tonight, because I dunna want to be asked questions. If I pass through town by daylight, there's them as 'ud fret me with their talk." "Have you seen Mr. Grace?" Annice asked. "No, I shanna have the chance to say good-bye to him. I come partly to ask you to say it for me." "Yes, I will say it. I wish there was no need that I should, though. I wish I could keep you." There was a brief silence. Joan knelt on one knee by the fender. "I have been thinking of Liz," she said. "I thought I'd ask you. If it were to happen so as she drift back here again while I were away, as you'd say a kind word to her, and tell her about the child, and how as I never thought hard on her, and as the day never were, as I didna pity her from the bottom of me soul." "I'm going to out south," she said again after a while. "They say as the south is as different from north as the day is from the night. I have money enough to help me on, and when I stop I shall look for work." Annice's face lighted up suddenly. "To the south?" she said. "Why did I not think of that before? If you go towards the south, there is Ashley Wold and Grandmamma, Mrs. Galloway. I will write to her now, if you will let me," rising to her feet. "If you give me a letter, I'll tack it and thank you," said Joan. "If she could help me to work aught like, I should be glad enough." Annice's mother's mother had always been her safest resource in the past, and yet, curiously enough, she had not thought of turning towards her in this case until Joan's words had suggested such a course. Joan took the letter and put it in the bosom of her dress. "There's no more danger for him," she said. "Fate tell me he were better." She spoke questioningly, and Annice answered her. "Yes, he is out of danger, Joan. What am I to say to him?" "To say to him?" She started slightly, but ended with a strained quietness of manner. "There's nowt to say," she added, rising and preparing to go. Annice rose also. She held out both her hands, and Joan took them. "I will go downstairs with you," said Annice, and they went out together. When they reached the front door they kissed each other, and Annice stood in the lighted hall and watched the girl's departure. "Goodbye," she said, "and God bless you." Early in the morning Derrick called his friend to his bedside. "I've had a bad night," he said to him. "Yes," Grace answered. "It is easy enough to see that." There was an unnatural sparkle in the hollow eyes, and the flush upon the cheek had not faded away. Derrick tried to laugh and moved restlessly upon his pillow. "So I should imagine," said he. The fact is, well, you see, I've been thinking. About? Yes, Grace. I cannot wait. I must hear something. 100 things might happen. I must at least be sure she is not far away. I shall never regain strength as long as I have not the rest that knowledge will bring me. Will you go to her and take her a few words of gratitude from me? Yes, readily. Will you go now? Grace would have left the room, but Derek stretched out his hand and touched him. Stay, he said. Grace turned to him again. You know, in the old resolute way, you know what I mean, the end to be, if it may be. I think I do. Grace appeared at the rectory very soon afterwards, and asked for Miss Barham. Annis came down into the parlour to meet him at once. She could not help guessing that for some reason or other he had come to speak of Joan, and his first words confirmed that impression. I have just left the Thwaites, he said. I went there to see Joan Lowrie and find that she is not there. Mrs. Thwaite told me that she had left Wrigham. Is that true? Yes, she went away last night. She came here to bid me good-bye and leave a farewell message for you. Grace was both troubled and embarrassed. He faltered. Do you understand it? Yes, Annis answered. Their eyes met, and she went on. You know, we have said that it was the best that she should break away entirely from the past. She has gone to try, if it is possible to do it. She wants another life altogether. I do not know what I must do, said Grace. You say she has gone away, and I came to her from Derek. From Mr. Derek, Annis exclaimed, and then both relapsed into silence. It was Annis who spoke first. Mamma was going to send some things to Mr. Derek this morning, she said. I will have the basket packed and take it myself. If you will let me, I will go with you as soon as I can have the things prepared.